بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى وأما من بخل واستغنى وكذب بالحسنى فسنيسره للعسرى.
Okay, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You probably know my name is Abdur Raheem Green. Today and tomorrow we are going to be discussing or going through a particular method of giving dawah. This is not going to be, and it's not intended to be, a comprehensive dawah course. No. My objective is to teach you a specific method and a specific way of giving dawah. Now, I know that the method that I am going to introduce is maybe not one that you are used to. It may go against what you have been taught already. It may go in a different way from some of the ideas that you already have. And there are different styles of giving dawah. There are different styles of giving dawah. For example, all of us, I am sure, we are familiar with Dr. Sheikh Ahmed Deedat. Yes? Okay, yes, me myself, when I first started giving dawah, and I remember 19 years ago when I converted to Islam, I went down to a place in London called Speaker's Corner. Maybe some of you, I know some of you have seen the tapes. I went down to a place called Speaker's Corner, and I heard some Christians talking about about Christianity and about Jesus and this and that. And, I wanted to say something. I felt really angry, even though I used to be a Christian before. But I was saying, how can they say these things? This is insulting Allah. And I wanted to say something, and I said, all I could say is, no, he isn't, and that's not true. And the next week I went down to a bookshop and I found this book by Ahmed Deedat called Our Choice. And I picked it up. I said, Subhanallah, this is a gift from Allah. Here I have my weapon now. And I used to go down every single Sunday. I will go down and I will read from this book and I will memorize things and I will write them all down and I will challenge the Christian with this and that. But to tell you the truth, Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may Allah bless Sheikh Ahmed Deedat and make his grave light and spacious and give him Jannatul Firdaus, Ameen. But his style really was developed for a particular time and a particular place. He himself said that he developed this style for Muslims to chase away Christian missionaries who had come knocking on the door. And they would come and try and confuse the minds of Muslims. So Sheikh Ahmed Deedat, he developed this style. So if the missionary knocks on your door, you could say, okay, how about this and how about that and how about this? And the guy would go running away confused. Alhamdulillah, it was good for its time and for its place. And I know, of course, we all know Dr. Zakir Naik, who, alhamdulillah, I respect him too much as well. And he has his own style and his own method. I didn't study it thoroughly, but he has his own style and his own method. But I am going to teach you another particular style and another particular method. Actually, the da'i, the one who is calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can imagine it really like, like a martial art maybe. Or maybe you're like a doctor or any profession. The more tools you have, the more tools you have available, yes, then the more you are able to deal with different things and different situations. You have some martial arts, for example, they can deal with one situation or another situation. But the more you learn, the more tools you have available, the more you can deal with different situations. Yes? But I was confronted with a challenge. I thought to myself, what if we could have one method, a simple method, a method that we could teach people in one day? We could give people the outline of this method in one day. Actually, this seminar is a one-day seminar, but I've expanded it for our session today. Yeah, for our session today and tomorrow. But the original idea was a one-day seminar for university students, and to give them some idea of a method of giving dawah that is, in my opinion, very simple, very logical. It makes a lot of sense. It follows the dalil, the pattern, the evidence from the sharia. Anyway, we'll see that. But please remember that this is just one system, just one way that you can use. I'm not saying it's the best way, I'm not saying it's the only way, but I hope by the end of the course you will see the logic of the way that I'm trying to teach you. And I call it a systematic approach. It is a systematic approach to da'wah, because it follows a logical pattern. Yes? Okay. So this is what we're going to be dealing with over the next 2 days. Da'wah, inviting to Allah. I took this phrase here, my brothers and sisters, every drop raises the ocean. I took this phrase from a children's program, I have to admit it, called Dinotopia. Anyway, it's about these kids who go on an island that's where human beings and dinosaurs live together and talk to each other and stuff. Anyway, but forget the program. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But actually, there was something I picked up from it. I thought this was a beautiful statement, a really amazing thing. And they have a type of philosophy on this island, and there's this lady who teaches this philosophy. And from amongst the things they teach is that every drop raises the ocean. That means that every little thing that everybody contributes, every drop of rain helps to raise the ocean. It's only one drop. But of course, if there's thousands and thousands and thousands of drops, it will raise the ocean even more. Meaning, and this, my brothers and sisters, is the theme that I would like you to think about, and you will see it appearing. I'm hoping to subliminally brainwash you, okay? Every drop raises the ocean. I want you to understand that da'wah is not really about giving big lectures and big speeches. It's not about standing on a platform and preaching to thousands of people. The da'wah that really is going to spread the deen of Islam is the da'wah that you, brothers and sisters, do every day, at work, with your neighbors, with the people that you meet in the street. They are little drops. That's all they are. Little drops. But if every Muslim was giving da'wah like this every day throughout all of their life, we will see how Islam spreads. And this is the real da'wah. The real da'wah that is being done is by those brothers and sisters who are calling to Allah in their everyday life, in their office, in their workplace, at school, with their neighbors, with their friends. This is the da'wah. And every drop, don't think that the little bit that you do has no value. Don't think that. No. Rather think every little thing that I do has value. Every word that I say for da'wah has value. And you don't know, my brothers and sisters, which word that you say will be the one that tips the heart of a person. You don't know. Yes? So remember that. Every drop raises the ocean. Okay, what I'm going to do is select from some of you, inshallah. What is your name? In fact, what I'd like you to do, I suppose you're all sitting next to someone you already know, yes? Okay, talk to the person next to you. We'll give you 2 minutes to introduce yourself to each other, yeah? and discuss to each other, what do you do, what's your profession, and also why did you come to this seminar and what do you want to get out of it. And then I'm going to select a few of you. I will just randomly select some people just to make a list of what are you hoping to get out of this Dawah seminar. So introduce yourselves to each other, the person next to you, the people next to you. Go on, go ahead. Introduce each other and discuss what you like to get out of this Dawah seminar. My first break now. We're going to start with just a little introduction to a few people. What's your name? What did you do? And okay, forget that. We'll just go to why did you come to this seminar and what do you want to get out of it? Why did you come to this seminar and what do you want to get out of it? So inshallah we'll follow the English custom of ladies first. Okay? So we'd like one of the ladies, please, inshallah. If I could just ask the sister, please. Sister, yes? Yeah, why did you come here and what would you like to get out of this seminar? Huh? You can just tell us here, don't worry. I'll write it on the board. So, yeah? Okay, increase your knowledge, good. Okay, can you see it? I suppose you can't see. Increase. Okay, yeah? Okay. You want to spread the word of Allah. Okay. Jazakallah khair. Brother over there with a nice smile, mashallah, I see. Yes. Yes, you who's looking around saying, not me, please. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's okay. He can just, I'm going to write it down. It's okay. Go on, speak. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, to get involved with dawah activities. Okay. Okay, yeah? Is that it? Yeah. To know more about the methods. Okay. Okay. Is there, Yani, the sister there, please. With the, next to the sister with the red hijab, the sister there. Yes, you sister, yes. Why did you, Yani, what do you want to get out of the Dawah seminar? To increase your knowledge? Yeah, okay. Yes, good. Yeah, anything else? No? Okay, that's good. Alhamdulillah, faddal ya. Okay. 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 Okay, excellent. If one of the sisters could volunteer, that would be actually so nice to save me picking on people and, if you've got some ideas which we didn't mention, why did you come here? What do you want to get out? What are you hoping by the end of this? What have you achieved? Brothers, if you got something, go on. Sisters, please, please. Because we have to learn to give dawah, you're going to have to speak, so yeah, go on. Yes. Brother, yes, with the check shirt, yeah. To follow the sunnah, okay, that's nice. MashaAllah. Excellent. Excellent. Follow, oh my God, excuse my writing. Follow the sunnah. Actually, yes, brother.
To save our...
Yeah, go on, sister. Yes, sister first. Go on, sister.
I know what's Islam actually, but I don't know how to put those in the words. How to do dawah to our non-Muslim friends.
Okay, I know what's Islam. That's very nice. But I want to put it, I know what Islam is, but what words do I use?
Yes.
Okay, how to explain. Yeah? Islam. Excellent. Jazakallah khair. Yes, sister. Sorry? Okay, to make your way to, this is good. MashaAllah. Make my way to paradise easy. Okay. Paradise easy. Okay, this is a general virtue of seeking knowledge. Of course, whoever treads the path of knowledge, then Allah will make... Okay. Okay. How to... Someone's mobile phone. Get over misconceptions. Uncle, yes.
To save our non-Muslim brothers and sisters by going into hell.
Just a point, please. Just a minute, just a point. Just a point. Okay. So I'm going to talk. You see, it's an interactive, so you will say something and I will say something. No, it's fine. Sometimes myself, I do say, my non-Muslim brothers and sisters, and there are some, I don't know, scholars, we could say they are scholars, who say they are brothers in humanity. But in fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً. The brotherhood in Islam is between the believers. Yes? The brotherhood in Islam is between the believers. The non-Muslims are not our brothers and sisters. This is the strongest and the strictest, opinion. But of course, we want them to save them from hellfire. We could maybe say they are our cousins or something like that. We're all from Bani Adam. But brotherhood is something very strong. Brotherhood is something for the believers. Just to make that point. I mean, I say it myself sometimes as well. But really, strictly, correctly, they're not our brothers. Inshallah, we want to make them our brothers. Inshallah. And our sisters. Okay. So, yes, brother, you are standing up. Yes. So, okay. We had this, follow the sunnah, it's the obligation, fulfill, okay, we say help fulfill obligation. Brother, I want to ask you a question at this stage, yeah? You say help fulfill your obligation. Why come to a seminar? Yeah? Okay. Okay. You see, in Islam, my brothers and sisters, knowledge, yes, knowledge comes before action. Before we do anything in Islam, we should have knowledge. Yes. So we know, and based upon that knowledge, then we act. So, alhamdulillah, it's good. If we want to do something, then we should know what is the way to do that thing according to the teachings of Islam. Yes. Sorry? Okay. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay. Okay. How to overcome hesitation. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about that one. It's not part of my thing, but maybe the sisters need a bit of help with this one. Yeah? Sisters, how about you? Let's give the sisters a chance. Sisters, have you got anything? Yes, faddal, yes. Jazakallah khair. Okay. So, okay. I have to say though, I'll have to say that is good, because surely dawah is for everybody. Dawah can, and I don't agree, some people say dawah is for non-Muslims and tarbiyah and tazkiyah. You're just getting very detailed. Actually, dawah means to invite to Allah, and you can invite Muslims to Allah, and you can invite non-Muslims to Allah. There are many people who call themselves Muslims, as I'm sure you brothers and sisters know, who are making shirk and kufr and practicing magic and all so many things. But I have to say, this is not the main purpose of my dawah seminar. So, I'm sorry about that. Really, my dawah seminar is really mostly going to be concentrating on dawah to non-Muslims, although the principles the principles that I'm going to teach, they will apply to everybody. But the specific things I'm going to teach is for non-Muslims. Yeah? So, I'm sorry, sister, although that's a very good thing. Okay? But I do think, just as a point, if all of us get involved in dawah, I really believe that thing itself will help to bring Muslims together. From my experience, when I have seen the people who give dawah, you will find people from so many different jama'at and so many different groups. But when they are giving dawah, suddenly all of those things seem to go away. And mashallah, everyone is working together because they're striving in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's a nice point. I think even dawah itself is something that helps to bring the ummah together because we concentrate on something that is really important rather than some of those differences that many of them, brothers and sisters, they're not really, I mean, they're important, but, we have other important things. So, Yani, yes, go. Salaam. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think we covered that, but that's nice. Jazakallah khair. Okay, can I ask a question to you, please? I'd like to ask you a question. Do you get often, when you're giving dawah yourself, difficult questions that you don't know how to answer them? Would you like to know how to answer all those questions? Oh, no one mentioned that. That's what I'm waiting for, you see. How to answer the questions. Now, you see, I got a difficult question last night. If anyone came to my lecture last night, there was a guy standing up. And actually, when I was answering his question, I was thinking about my dawah seminar I was going to give. I said, I better practice what I was going to preach tomorrow. Okay? So, inshallah, one of the things, in fact, one of the main parts of this course is what I call uncomfortable questions. In fact, I'm going to tell you now, tomorrow, or maybe this evening, we are going to make a list. Maybe tonight, I will see how it goes, but maybe tonight I'm going to want you to go away and think about all the difficult questions that people ask you, or that you can think of that they ask about Islam in general. Why can a man have 5 wives, 25 wives, or whatever, and a woman can't have, that type of stuff, There are many questions. Okay, why does Allah let all these terrible things happen? These types of things. There are many general questions and some specific questions. So I'm giving you some homework for tonight, inshallah, okay? We might get there before tonight though, that's the only problem. So you can start even thinking about those questions now. Okay? So, questions, yeah? Okay, this is a very important thing. So you all wanted it, no one said it. Very strange. Yeah, go on.
Would like to know how to build a group of da'is, to sustain them and to make them work together to meet the objective.
Okay. That's something, that's very good. Okay. Okay, how to build a group. Build a group of da'is. Okay, how to work, etc. Okay, that's not really part, except in a very general sense, so we'll see if we can add that, because that's very important. I mean, I talk about it generally, but I don't talk about that specifically, so we'll see if we can add it. Jazakallah khair, it's a good point. Anything we haven't got, I know, mashallah, all of us have probably come for many of these reasons, but something we haven't got yet. Something. Sisters, no? So, okay, mashallah. Okay, go on. To create a good atmosphere for? Okay, sure. Okay. Okay, I know what you mean. Okay. Oh my God, what's that? Create a good atmosphere. Okay. Okay, how? Yep. I'm going to be covering that, inshallah. I hope so. We'll see. The idea is at the end, we will go over these and we will see how many of these we've actually covered. We can see if we can tick them off, inshallah. I hope so. Anything else? Sisters? Brothers? Okay, let's make this the last few. Yeah, go on. How to start to do dawah. Okay, yes. Okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. How to start. That's similar to, we had another one. Someone asked that. Similar one. Yes. The government.
What Islam says is right.
I'm not...
Okay, interact with the government and say, this is what Islam says. What Islam says.
I could make a joke, but I think I might get arrested a bit. I have to be careful what I say. How to convince the government, huh? Okay. That is, no, actually, we're all laughing, but subhanallah, it's, okay, we'll see. Let's see, who knows? Maybe we could, okay. How to convince the government. Because it's certainly part of dawah. Of course, if you can convince the government, convince everybody else just about. Okay. Gosh, that's a good point. Is that quite common, by the way? Yeah? It's quite common. You see, that's it. They just pull the carpet from under our feet. 90% of the dawah that you will give is going to be in the workplace. Okay. I don't know if I can teach you to be patient and to learn to listen. Those are things, inshallah, we're going to talk about how important they are. But whether I can teach you that, it's not something I can teach you. I can just tell you that's something you need to have. So I'm not even going to bother trying to. Who knows? Maybe we'll have some patient testings exercises. Stand on your leg for like the yogis. Okay, sisters, you got. Oh, mashallah. Okay, good. Sorry, you have to.
The other religions, they have a God whom they can see and worship, whereas in Islam, Allah is invisible.
Okay.
So in that case,
yep.
Yeah, how can we make them worship in Allah where they can't see them?
We'll save that for the questions. Yeah, when we have the session. What I call it uncomfortable questions. This is a very good question. Gosh, I'm glad you told me before because I'm going to have to think about that one. I'm sure there's going to be a load. Sisters, save that, for tomorrow. When I go through all the questions, the difficult questions that you don't know how to answer them, make sure you mention that. I know this is going to be challenging for me as well because you're going to be faced with a lot of questions that I'm not used to in England. I'm used to a certain... I don't even know, by the way, if my method is going to work here in India. You may say, Abdur Raheem, thank you for your 2 days. It was very nice. But believe me, this is not going to work in India. But then you would have taught me something. That's how it is, yeah? Okay? But inshallah, you'll work with some people. Inshallah. We'll see. Yeah, go on. Yes. That, I have to say again, I'm not giving a comprehensive dawah course. What you're talking about here is a comprehensive dawah course that you would need to do it for weeks to discuss, like Bilal Phillips, I know has developed one, Dr. Bilal Phillips, where he discusses every religion and how you deal with this is not my course is about that. My course is an approach that you can use for everybody. So I'm not going to be covering that. Maybe little bits in here, but that's not the point of my course. Okay, we'll make it the last few things. Yeah? When's tea time? That's good. Okay. I don't know if I'll cover that, but anyway, we'll put it anyway. Methods to get rid of shaitan. Okay. I mean, obviously, this is something when you want to give dawah, you want to talk to someone, shaitan puts things in your head, and how do we start? This is a good, hopefully I will remember to mention something about that. Okay, anything really important we didn't, because we have to get on. We could go on for hours, but let's just finish, yeah? Salam. Okay. Yeah. Right, okay.
The ultimate aim is to reach Almighty Allah.
Right. Right.
Just we are away from that. As Abdur Raheem,
okay. Okay.
We should know from this what is Dawah anything. What is the real fundamental of life to reach Almighty Allah.
Okay, inshallah. I hope, inshallah, we will definitely cover that. Okay, let's leave it there, inshallah. Unless there's something really, yes, sister, yes, good, mashallah. We'll definitely give the sisters a, yes. The knowledge of the other religions. Yes. Yes. I will talk about it generally. I will talk about that generally. But as I said, I'm not going to specifically deal with each PowerPoint, so until that comes back. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is very practical stuff. We'll see. Maybe we can deal with a bit of that. Use of IT. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, maybe some of these things we'll see if we have time we can explore them. Yeah? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's move on to the next thing. Alhamdulillah, I noticed that I don't think we need to spend too much time on this. That nice chap lent me a... Yes, sister. Yep. Can you turn the mic on? Because I can't hear you. Okay. Yeah, I got that. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. I like that. Okay. How to respond and not react. It's like what the brother asked, about patience and, that was a nice question. React. So, that's good. Okay, how to respond and not react. Yes, we'll see if we actually learn that. Inshallah, I hope we will actually. Okay. Oh yes. I know I had one of these before. This is fun. Okay, how do we give dawah? Okay, the first question I want you to ask my brothers and sisters here, and some of you have already answered it, mashallah. Why do we do things as Muslims? Hands up, who can answer my question. Brother, why do we do things as Muslims? Why do we, yes, you brother. Why do we do things as Muslims? Huh? To seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Anything else? Huh? Sorry? Okay, yes, that's true. To benefit the ummah of the Prophet. But really, the brother gave the right answer. The reason why we do things as Muslims is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to get to paradise and to avoid the hellfire. And that's it at the end of the day. Even if we want to do things for the ummah, we remember that doing something for the ummah is a means to an end. The end that we want to achieve is paradise. Because what does it matter if you do things for the ummah or you do things for, you call 1 million people to Islam and you go to hell yourself? Huh? It's not any good, is it? Okay? So really our objective, my brothers and sisters, let us remember that our objective is paradise. The pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That we would like to see the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in paradise. And that we want the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what do we hope to achieve? That's what I mean. We hope to achieve Jannah, inshaAllah. There are many other things, of course, that we can hope to achieve. More minor things that we can hope to achieve through dawah. But we have to remember really essentially that that's what it's all about as Muslims. We are seeking the pleasure of Allah. Okay? Now in order for us to seek the pleasure of Allah, in order for us to get to Jannah, I know this is very basic stuff, but we should remind ourselves about it. In order for us to get to Jannah, what are the things that Allah is going to weigh up in our scales? What is that Allah is going to ask us about on the Day of Judgment? Our deeds. Yeah? And brothers and sisters, this is the reality. Our deeds that Allah is going to weigh up for us. And so if we want to get to Jannah, and we want to avoid an-nar, what we need is good deeds and lots of good deeds. That's what this dunya is for. That is what this dunya is for. The reason why Allah created this world is so that you can use it to get to Jannah. Yes. The Prophet ﷺ said, what do I have to do with this world? I am like a traveler on a long journey who took rest underneath the shade of a tree and continued on his journey. So the Prophet ﷺ, he described this life like a long journey, not this life, like the rest underneath the shade of a tree. Our existence is like a long, long journey. Now you tell me, if you're on a long journey and you don't rest, what will happen? Huh? Yeah, you'll die. If you're driving a car, eventually you'll fall asleep, you'll crash. If you're riding a camel or a horse, you'll fall off. So you need to take that rest. In order to reach your destination, you have to take that rest because you are gathering what you want. But you'll only stay as long as you need. You're not going to stay there and pitch your tent there and make your home there and bring out the kitchen sink there and have wives and children there and what? No. You're just on a journey. You want to get to your destination. You stop, you rest, you go. That's like the life. And so like the traveler who rests, we are only here in this dunya to get what we want and what we need to finish our journey. Our journey, our destination, inshallah, is paradise. And what we need to take from this life is good deeds. Because that is what is going to help us reach our destination. That is it, brothers and sisters. That's what the life is about. Anyone thinks the life is about anything else, you're confused. Yes. So the best of us are the ones who are going to spend the most of our energy and time acquiring good deeds. What are the conditions in order for deeds to be accepted? Who can tell me that? Hands up, please. Yeah, go on. Just ikhlas. Yeah? So if I want to raise money for the starving people of Bombay who got flooded out yesterday, yeah? And I sell heroin in the streets of Madras. But my intention is good. I have a good intention, I want to help the poor people. Is that okay? The proper Islamic leader. Aqidah. Okay, that is true. First of all, you have to have iman. Because without iman, your deeds will be useless on the Day of Judgment. Yes, Allah described the deeds of the disbelievers on the Day of Judgment like a mirage. You know, they will think that there's something there and they will find nothing except Jahannam. Except the hellfire. So iman, in order for our deeds to be accepted, we need true iman. That's true. And we need ikhlas. And so brothers and sisters, remind ourselves here please. let us, all of us, make our intention, including me. Right now, let us reinforce our intention to seek the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not to get famous, not to get fortune, yeah? Just to get to Jannah by making the word of Allah highest, by fulfilling our obligations. To seek the pleasure of Allah. Let's make that intention, okay? So ikhlas, the ikhlas of niyyah, the sincerity of intention. So we have iman, we have ikhlas. What's the third thing? Amalus salih, yes, but what, that's not, doesn't it? Sorry? Hand up, sister one, yes. Thank you, sister. Jazakallah khair. It must be according to the sunnah, according to the sharia. In order for our deeds to be accepted, they have to be sincere and correct. Yes. Correct means according to the sharia. This is very important. Now, this is why, this is the first section of my Dawah seminar, is to remind us of the sharia, evidences, and what does Allah say about how we should give Dawah. Because that's the basis upon which we try to make our action according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. It's important. Otherwise, what is our Dawah? If our Dawah is not correct and not done according to sharia, then it's not accepted by Allah. Dawah is like anything, like prayer. Say I want to pray. I read the Quran and says, I want to pray 5 times a day. So I stand on one leg again. For 5 minutes, 5 times a day. Did I pray to Allah 5 times a day? I had a good intention, I wanted to pray. Is that good enough? No, because my action has to be correct. Meaning I have to perform the prayer according to the Sharia. Dawah is not any different. Although it is not as specific, but still there are rules in Dawah. There are things, it's an act of ibadah, and we need to follow and do it the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us, just like anything else. So we need ikhlas, and we need our action to be correct according to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay? That's what we need. Okay, what's the time now? Because I don't have a watch. Huh? Okay, well, I think it's a good... oh, a nice blank slide. Okay, brothers and sisters, it's a tea break now. It's a good time to finish. The next session is going to be about the virtues of giving da'wah. So, this is our intention, to point out the virtues of giving da'wah. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? What did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say about the virtues of giving da'wah? And then we're also going to talk about the nature of da'wah. Is it, what sort of obligation is it, and so on and so forth. So, inshallah, we'll meet again. How long is the tea break? Half an hour? 15 minutes. Okay, brothers and sisters, back in 15 minutes, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. So my brothers and sisters, just to recap that, inshallah bi'idhnillah, we are here learning to seek the pleasure of Allah, to seek the face of Allah, hoping for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's reward, fearing the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We want our deeds to be both sincere and correct. To do it purely and completely for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to make it according to the sunnah of His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to facilitate these 2 days to be something that is pleasing to Him, that is done sincerely for Him, and that it is done correctly according to the way of His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. My brothers and sisters, it is important that when we do something in Islam, that we understand the virtue of that thing. What I mean is that when we know the virtue of something, and we know how highly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has praised something, then we also understand its status, its level in the Sharia, how important that thing is. And this, my brothers and sisters, is one of the great benefits of knowledge. One of the ways that Shaitan misguides people, one of the ways that Shaitan confuses people, is in fact, he invites people to do a righteous action. Yes? May amaze you, but Shaitan misguides people by inviting them to do a good deed. But the good deed Shaitan invites them to is not as high and great in its reward as another good deed that person intended to do or could have been doing. In other words, Shaitan will never give up with us. He will never stop trying to mislead us. Even if he can get us to do deeds that have less reward than other deeds, he will get us doing and get us busy with the deeds that have less reward. Because he'll be happy even with that. The people who can escape this are people who have knowledge. And many Muslims are confused. They don't understand the virtue of deeds. They don't understand the importance of things. Many simple Muslims are confused. They will see a man who maybe prays all night, reads Quran, does so many good things. But, for example, maybe this man is making shirk with Allah. Maybe he is calling upon the dead people in the grave and using them as helpers and intercessors between them and Allah. This is shirk. This is idol worship. This takes a person out of Islam. In fact, it doesn't matter how much you pray or how much you fast. It's much better that you are a drunkard and a gambler and a fornicator and even a murderer and a killer and upon tawheed than you were doing all of those other things and making shirk. Very few people understand that. But it's very important, my brothers and sisters, from the point of view of wala and bara as well. This is the virtue of iman, of having the true belief in the tawheed of Allah. This is not, by the way, of course, an excuse to do haram things. In reality, a person whose heart is truly filled with iman would not do those bad things. But they may sometimes do it. But we need to know the virtue of deeds. When we understand how virtuous dawah is, then we know how much attention we need to give it in our life. How much importance can we attribute to this thing in our life? Where does it fit in? Yeah? I'm sure all of you realize that. You study, you work in an office or whatever, they teach you prioritize. You know? Sorting the papers on your desk is not really quite as important as the report that needs to be given to the director in the next hour. Yes? Okay, prioritize. You know what's important. This is what this is about. When we know the virtue of deeds, we know how to prioritize and give everything its place. So what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say about da'wah? The virtue. Look at this beautiful ayah of Quran. Who is better in speech than one who calls to Allah? Man ahsanu qawlan addu ila Allah. Who is better in speech than the one who calls to Allah and works righteousness? You see, often Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in fact nearly always, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala links believing in Him with doing righteous deeds. Amilu salih. So, and it also shows a link between something that is important. The caller to Islam is not only the one who calls, but they act upon what they call to. They preach and they practice what they preach. This is a famous phrase in English. Practice what you preach. And this is something that is confirmed, a wisdom, a universal wisdom that is confirmed, of course, in the Quran. that we should practice what we practice what we preach. So we call and do righteous deeds. And says, I am of those who, I am one of the Muslimun. Ana min al-Muslimun. I am one of the Muslim people. One of the people who submit themselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at this beautiful saying of Hassan al-Basri. Hassan al-Basri was a tabi. That means he was one of the people who took his knowledge from the Sahaba. Hassan al-Basri. Okay? He recited, he was a great scholar, and so many miracles that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is well known for, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala manifested so many miracles through this great man. He recited this verse, and this is what he said. This person is the beloved to Allah. This one. The one whose speech is calling to Allah. The one whose speech is calling to Allah. This person is the beloved to Allah. He is the wali of Allah. The friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the most beloved to Him from amongst the people of the earth. SubhanAllah. He answered the call of Allah and invites people to the very same call He responded to. He works righteous deeds within His response and declares, I am indeed from the Muslims. Brothers and sisters, would you like another virtue after that? That you are beloved to Allah, that you are His friend, that He loves you, that you listened to Allah's call and you responded to it, and then you called other people to it. SubhanAllah. What a virtue. So now you should know the level and the virtue of being someone who is calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His deen. Not ever that you should presume that you are this person, because don't ever attribute piety to yourself. Don't attribute piety to yourself, my brothers and sisters. Hope that you will be from these people. Hope that by pursuing the path of giving dawah, that Allah will include you among such people. Presume yourself to be from amongst them. Don't presume yourself to be from amongst them. This is very important. But this is the virtue, my brothers and sisters, of calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, one of the things that I suggest you should do by way of reading is, and I expect, by the way, all of you should have this book at home. Yes? One of the things about knowledge is you need to spend some money. Yes. And it will be very well spent to spend money on books for knowledge. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He told us, Iqra, not Isma, Iqra. Read. And this is a most excellent collection of sayings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nearly every single one is authentic, if not authentic in its actual text, inshaAllah, authentic in their meaning, compiled by Imam An-Nawawi, who's a great scholar of the past, a near contemporary of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. And he compiled this book of hadith called Riyadh al-Salihin. Okay? Which is a collection of ayat of Quran and hadith, which is grouped under topic headings. So here I just went through and I wrote down, because I wasn't going to write down every hadith, but I wrote down the topic headings of each of the chapter. Chapter 19 covers inventing new ways of virtue and vice. This does not mean, by the way, that some proof of making bid'ah or inventing new things in the religion. No. The hadith that he mentions, in general, is about encouraging people to do righteous deeds. So encouraging people to do righteous actions is part of giving dawah. Yes? So this is falling under the head of dawah. So the title of da'wah. chapter 20, recommending for good, inducement for doing good, and tempting towards vice. The Prophet ﷺ told us that whoever calls a person to a righteous action, then they will get the reward of that person following that righteous action without that person's reward being diminished in the least. And whoever invites people to an evil action, then they will get the punishment for those people acting upon that evil action without their punishment being diminished in the least. So, one of the great benefits of giving dawah, is that if it is to a Muslim, if you call the Muslim to a righteous deed, if you call the Muslim to pray or to fast or to practice their religion, then my brothers and sisters, every time they pray, every time they fast, then you will get the reward of their prayer and their fasting, without their reward being lost. By the way, now do you understand also something, why we could never reach the level of the Prophet and his companions in our deeds? Because by necessity, every single good deed that we did, they are automatically going to be rewarded for it, because they're the ones who brought this religion to us. There's no need to do an action and then devote it with the intention of giving it to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why would you want to do? I mean, you can do that, but why? Because the Prophet gets the reward of it anyway. He gets rewarded for it anyway, because it's through him that you knew this was a righteous action, and he will get benefit. Subhanallah. This is the beautiful thing. So you imagine you call someone to Islam, or you call a Muslim to do a righteous action, or you prohibit them from doing a harmful or a bad thing. You get the benefit of that. Also, there's another thing to remember, a very important thing. If you do something haram, or you call people to something haram, or people do something haram because they saw you doing it, they saw you smoking, they said, well, I saw uncle smoking, it must be okay. I saw auntie smoking, it must be okay. Okay, not many aunties smoke, hopefully, and not many uncles smoke either, okay? You know what I mean. They see you doing something wrong.